Is there anything else you miss about the wrestling business?
You know, I miss to a certain extent. I miss the brotherhood, but I still have the brotherhood with a lot of the guys that I came up with, and
Mhm.
a lot of the people that I met along the way. Um, I don't miss the backstabbing and head stomping and
Mhm.
everybody trying to be the man,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. I really I love the business for what it was, not necessarily for what it is now.
Yeah. So, I saw recently this whole situation with The Rock and this whole IP thing with his name. I
hmm
didn't even know that like I figured it happened in the business because it's like a whole big brand and so on and so forth. But so how do you feel about the way that all went?
I think it's I think it's funny that he got the trademark after Vince was out.
Mm.
Because I don't think Vince would have ever given up the trademark. That's why
Mm.
he wound up going under Dwayne Johnson, for
Mhm.
the longest time.
Sure.
But the Rock trademark is so valuable. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That I'm shocked that TKO gave it up.
Mm.
And I followed it just a little bit because I'm involved in trademarks and so
Right, right,
forth. So
right.
I thought it was fantastic that Rock got the name, and now, I mean, he can pretty much do whatever he wants to do with it, which is a big, big, big positive and a big win for the boys because a lot of the time, especially WWE,
Mhm.
back in the day, they wouldn't allow you to keep your own trademark, which
Yeah.
was, a big problem, especially guys who were established in the industry.
Mhm.
Then they leave the business or they leave the big time,
Mhm.
and they can't use their name anymore because, well, Vince owns it.
Mhm.
I wound up having an issue, not me personally, well, personally because I was putting the deal together. I had my backpack line. This is the new backpack line that I have here, but my old backpack line with Esport backpacks,
Mhm.
same company I'm working with, but it was comic book backpack and it's out with Walmart, the whole nine yards, did very, very well.
Mhm.
Due to the success of that, I said to them, I said, would you guys be interested in a Wrestling Legends
Mhm.
backpack
Mhm.
line? And
Mhm. Mhm.
me personally, I know I wasn't going to be in that line because I'm not a wrestling legend,
Yeah.
but I know a lot of the boys who they're not making any money. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? They're working independent shows still. They're older. They're hobbling around. Not all of them, but some of them. And,
Yeah.
I wanted to get them a couple of bucks and
Mhm.
give them something to work on.
Sure.
We're talking about guys like Captain Lou Albano, what do you call it? Jimmy Superfly Snuka, both who are deceased now.
Mhm.
What do you call it? Kamala gone. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Tito Santana. These are legends in the sport.
Yeah.
RVD was involved, so like, I had all these cats ready to go. And I thought to myself, wait a minute. Are any of you guys under Legends contracts? I had an epiphany. I said, something's not gonna go well here. And
Right.
sure enough, half the guys were on Legends
What
contracts.
is a legend contract?
So Legends contract is somebody who is considered a legend with Vince and well with WWE. Vince
Mhm.
isn't there right now if he's ever coming back. But it's when a legend will sign a contract so that they can get a percentage of products that are sold with their likeness on it. So
Mhm.
that being said, the backpack line was supposed to have each individual person do their own character styled backpack.
Sure.
So the issue is if WWE has a contract with another backpack company,
Mhm.
they're not going to allow this backpack company to put out something with their trademarks
Mhm. Mhm.
unless you get special permission. So I went through the avenue. I spoke with the people, at the offices. I know them, over there. So I made a phone call. I
Mhm.
had some conversations. We went back and forth. I have the emails to show you if you want to see them. But what do you call it? We went back and forth. And out of all the cats that I had on, for the deal, they only gave permission for Snuka. They only gave for Jimmy, which there was nothing because he loves Jimmy. He loves that's the
Mhm.
Rock's family. You know
Mhm.
what I mean?
Mhm.
So they only gave it for Jimmy. And the crazy thing is that they knew that I couldn't do anything with the whole Legends line. I needed 15 people
Mhm.
for the line.
Yeah.
And since they only gave me the rights for the one, and then obviously, the Albano family gave me the rights for
Mhm.
Lou. Kamala couldn't do it. This one, there was nothing that I could do for them. So
Yeah.
the whole thing got squashed, and
Mm.
they never wound up getting that deal. So they sat there and had nothing happen, and it's sad because it could have turned into something else. But
Sure.
that's Walmart was interested.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've done well for yourself, hence
I do
all
all
that.
right.
Like, I feel like you kind of took a very similar model and put it in place for your own personal stuff. So tell me about all of these things you have going on. I see comic books here.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
You have a food line. Like, my goodness.
I do. So I've been around for a long time, as you know, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that people need to do, especially when you're a brand, you need to branch out and you need to do merch. And
Mm-hmm.
um, when I signed at all these major comic cons, because I signed at all the conventions across the country, and um, there's just so many times that somebody's going to want to come over and buy an 8x10 from you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If I was on the other side of the table,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want to come back and keep buying an 8x10. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
it's a different one, I don't need that many 8x10s of
Mm-hmm.
somebody. It's about the experience. You want to come up, you might want to pick some stuff out, but you want that experience of spending time with somebody that you're interested in.
Sure.
So, what I started to do was I wanted to continue to branch and build. So, I started doing, when I was trying to get out of the wrestling business, my body was just done.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was sick of the politics, to be
Yeah.
completely honest. And I said, well, I've always wanted to do comic books, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and everything, by the way, is all tied into each other. And you know
Mm-hmm.
me, I could talk way too much. So
No,
if
it's
you
all
want to cut
good.
me off, you can
If
cut me
no,
off.
keep going.
So I figured, when I was a kid, before I got into music, which was my first love, I loved comics and I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to be an artist. And, I was interested in Spider-Man and the X-Men and all those characters. And I wanted to be an artist. And I was good. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't great, but I was
Mm-hmm.
good. And then I found drumming in school and I went into drumming. Fast forward however many years, went into music, got sick of being in a five-way marriage. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to worry about myself, went into wrestling. And now wrestling, what are wrestlers? Wrestlers are animated characters,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
All they are big superheroes. They're
Mm-hmm.
jumping around the ring. There's good guys, there's bad guys. It is a comic book. It's a real
Yeah.
life comic. So I said, well, I'm an old school gimmick guy. Brimstone was a gimmick. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The whole name itself is hilarious because I'm Jewish. Brimstone is the guardian of hell's gates. Jews don't believe in hell. So for
Mm.
those people who like to believe that I
So
take
it's
myself so seriously, I don't.
yeah.
The whole name itself was meant as kind of like a laughing at myself type of a
Mm-hmm.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, the gimmick itself I thought was fantastic. I said,
Mm-hmm.
what if I took this out of the ring and put it into a comic book? Fast forward, took me a few years to put the team together,
Mm-hmm.
and Brimstone and the Borderhounds was created. And what do you call it? Crazy enough, I was at a convention
Mm-hmm.
and I was introduced to Stan Lee, who everybody knows the legend Stan Lee. What do you call it? Marvel Comics, for those of you who don't know. And he came over and he's like, I love all of this. I love all of this, and we should talk. And we became friends, and I'm the celebrity spokesperson for his foundation, or I was. Now the foundation, I believe, is kind of winding down at this
Okay.
point. But I worked for them. Well, worked with them
Mm-hmm.
for a tremendous amount of time. So it all came full circle. But
Wow.
that's why the comic book came about. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
kind of do something out of the ring that I could still continue to push the character back to the Comic Cons.
Sure.
It gave me something else to sell and to interact and engage with my fans.
Mm-hmm.
So rather than sitting and spending 20, 30, 40, $50 on a 8x10,
Yeah.
you're spending $10 to have me sign a comic book.
Which is
Enjoy the
cool.
read, right?
Yeah.
And if you love it, come get a different book next time you come.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, people want more. I wanted to do the kids' books.
Mm-hmm.
Reason why I did the kids' books is because I remember when I had, my son and my daughter when they were little.
Mm-hmm.
My older two. My son was very interested in Spider-Man and the Hulk and all that jazz. So I was able to vibe with my son because I knew the characters,
Mm-hmm.
and then they had the mini versions of those characters for the kids.
Yeah.
So what do you call? I was able to sit and have conversations and talk to them about it and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted the same thing for fans, where they could, if they read the comic, the same characters are
Would show up
actually
in the children's book.
children's
Got
book,
it. Okay.
except watered down in a very, Clifford type of
Mhm.
style, or,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So that's how that came about. So it all kind of ties together, you know what I
Sure.
mean? And then obviously everything comes with it. I just brought the smaller things with me, but,
Mhm.
there's everything collector pins and regular buttons and stickers and tattoos. And I even have a Brimstone starter kit because everybody always
Cute.
compliments and talks about my jewelry. So I
Uh-huh.
figured it would be fun to, do a little starter kit.
That's fun.
And I do have a whole line of sauces and seasonings, and this is my Torchstone tie that I have
And
with me
you're
now.
a food critic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a show called Food Down Tidbits
Uh-huh.
for 3 seasons while I was touring promoting the comic books. I
Mhm.
said to, at the time, I said to my director of operations, because I'm skipping around a little bit, but
Mhm.
Hound Comics Inc. was born from the comic book because
Mhm.
people wanted me to publish their stuff. They liked what I was doing. One of them being Peter Mayhew, who was Chewbacca from Star Wars.
Mhm.
Peter and Angie, his wife, were very close, dear friends of mine.
Mhm.
And we were the only ones, I don't know how many people know this, but we were the only company, and I have the papers to show it,
Uh-huh.
that had full rights to use the Chewbacca character without paying back any dues to Lucasfilms. How
Wow.
crazy is that?
That's insane.
So, but we had to incorporate.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
went Hound Comics Inc. has been a thing, and yeah, I could spin on this forever. So I forgot where
No, no,
we
no.
were talking
But we
about.
were talking about like just how this all ties together, and I
Yeah.
think it's so interesting, right? Because merch is like very, very monetizable, more
Yes.
than I think people pay attention to. People, I would say, people who don't know much about it,
Right,
right?
right, right, right.
So I guess how does a brand like where does a brand start? So say I mean you started from somewhere like how do you get to a point where you're like okay this makes sense, and then like managing it all because this seems like a whole lot of work.
Okay. The foodie thing is where we were.
Right.
I will come back to that because I'm going to answer
Yeah,
this
yeah,
question
yeah.
now. So the way I always kind of roll things out, whether it's product lines or whatever, I'm always thinking, what's the next best thing?
Right.
What's the next best thing? What's the next natural progression?
Mm-hmm.
The comic books, the next natural progression is
Mm-hmm.
a kid's book, an animated series, toys. That's what came. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was doing the food reviews, what was the next natural progression? Well, I always wanted to do sauces and seasonings.
Mm-hmm.
I created sauces and seasonings, put them out into the market. I loved coffee. What did I do? I put that the sauce seasoning was successful. So I
Mm-hmm.
went and I put out a coffee line.
Right.
I love chocolate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What do you call it? Stan had introduced me to these people out in California,
Mm-hmm.
who unfortunately, due to the pandemic, they closed down. But it was called Sweet Hollywood. I had the Brimstone chocolate bars were in there with all my stuff right next to Stan, across from
Mm-hmm.
Elvira, and around the corner from RuPaul. So they had a
Mm-hmm.
Brimstone section.
Yeah.
So like everything is the next natural progression. What's bigger? What's better? What's
Mm-hmm.
going to kind of fit into my whole
Yeah, and stuff that
ordeal?
you like, which I love, right? You have an
Yes.
affinity to it.
Yes, I love everything that I do. It's the same thing as career moves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I will pivot. You know what I mean? I like to just like Madonna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I am not Madonna, obviously, but Madonna's a lot prettier than I am. Well, I don't know about these days. You didn't hear me say that, but what do you call it? Like Madonna, every few years she reinvents herself.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you always have to continuously reinvent yourself to
Right.
stay, relevant.
Relevant, yeah.
So, with me, I have, tirelessly, looked into, what I want to accomplish, what I want to do, what kind of a legacy I want to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, I navigate anything that I want to do. I wanted to write a book. I wrote a book. I have my autobiography that's, you know what I mean, in
Mm-hmm.
process of being done. I wanted to do comics. I did comics. I
Yeah.
wanted to do Sauce and Season. I did that. I wanted to be a muscle character. I'm a muscle character. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different things that I just wanted to do. So I will grab it by the horns and I will go and I'll make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, oh well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'll
Mm-hmm.
come back to it again. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is create what you want to see in the world.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
but that's where kind of everything is, and everything works directly into each other. The Brimstone character, the Brimstone
Mm-hmm.
name went to the comic book. Inside the comic, there's a bar that all the guys hang out in.
Mhm.
And inside that bar, it's called Heaven in Hell, complete
Mhm.
with Stairway.
Mhm.
If you're a Led Zeppelin fan, you get it.
Yeah,
Okay,
Stairway to
Stairway to
Heaven.
Heaven, right.
Yep.
So in there at the bar, and when they're eating food,
Mhm.
they have all the sauces and seasonings mentioned in the book, as well as my candies that I
That's
had.
very smart.
So it was, I believe, smart marketing.
Yeah.
And so the people that read the comics could then go out and purchase the actual sauce, seasoning, and candies from the actual comic book.
Wow.
And they're all award-winning sauces and seasonings and
Right.
products. So that being said, the flip side, the people that like the sauce and seasonings don't have to know anything about Brimstone or the comic or anything.
Right.
But if they do like comics and they find out, now they can go and read the comics and all vibes. And I already told you about the kids' books and so
Yeah.
forth. So
That's brilliant marketing.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's my background, sales marketing,
Uh-huh.
and that's what I do, I think that is what gives me a little bit more of an edge
Mhm.
in the entertainment industry. Look, I've navigated entertainment for over 40 years.
Mhm.
And to have that longevity and to be able to do as much as I have,
Mhm.
I'd like to believe I kind of know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not in the upper echelon of the totem pole, but I'm on the totem pole.
Yeah, and you figured out what works for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I mean, the Brimisms book,
I
I
love
see you
this.
looking at it. It's nothing crazy.
Mhm.
To be completely blunt, a lot of people would say when I was using my Twitter more often, well, X, I'm sorry, it's X now.
Yeah.
When I was using X more often, I'd put out, inspirational quotes and stuff.
Mhm.
And the same thing on Instagram and stories. I'd always put out inspirational stuff. If anybody does follow my Instagram, I'm always about positivity and
Yeah.
pushing forward and,
Mhm.
just trying to make people feel good about themselves.
Mhm.
And people were saying to me, they go, Brim, you should put that out in a book or something.
Yeah.
So I took the quotes that I've done, I just slapped them in a book, made it very Brimstone-esque,
Yeah.
and went with it. And you get a little coffee table book.
I love
It's
this.
nothing crazy,
Uh-huh.
but I'd like to believe that it has helped people. Matter of fact, there are people that have contacted me after they purchased the book, and they go, you know what? I had a rough day,
Mhm.
I had a rough week,
Yeah.
and I read the book, and it helped me.
Yeah.
So if it speaks to them, that makes me
I
happy.
like this one. Luck is only a myth. Believe only in your hustle.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. There is no such thing as luck. You have to hustle.
You have to
for
hustle.
everything you want, anything worth having in this world, whether it be a business, a relationship, a career,
Mhm.
a friendship. It takes a lot of work, a
Mhm.
lot of effort, and if you don't put that hustle in,
Yeah.
it's not gonna succeed.
Sure.
One of the cool things about the this book, even though it is, like I said, it's just a bunch of fun quotes that I put together.
Mhm.
But the forward for the book was written by my friend Charles
I
Martinet.
saw that.
And Charles Martinet is the guy who played Mario and Luigi
I
for
saw it in
Nintendo
here.
forever and a day. He just literally was retired from the character
Yeah.
after, oh my God, 30 something, 40 years, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So he has a world record for playing the same character.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Can I read something that he wrote about you?
Yeah.
So he talks about meeting you and talks about how awesome it was. So he says here, it was awesome because Brimstone is an awesome human being. His zest for life, his passion for living, his love for people, and giant heart make him so unique. And his drive. He gets his heart set on something and he goes for it. Voiceover career, radio show, food critic, it doesn't matter. If he wants it, he goes for it. And that is tremendously inspiring. I love that.
Yeah.
And we met during COVID
Yeah.
on Zoom
Yeah.
doing a radio show that I've been
Passage to
Passage to
Profit?
Profit
Yes.
that we've been doing for the last 6 years.
Right.
And we connected on the back end, and
Mhm.
like I feel the same about you. Like
Thank you.
I
appreciate it. Thank
it's hard to meet like good, genuine people in this business, and like I felt like we clicked right away, we vibed.
Yes.
And you're so creative, and I felt like we have a lot of things in common.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
do.
yeah.
And I love your vibe, and I love the hustle that you have, and that's why when because I don't open up to a lot of people, I don't speak to a lot of people,
Mhm.
and especially a lot of the podcasts that you do, you go on, or a lot of shows you go on, you talk, you do it, and then you never
Yeah.
speak or see people again. But there's certain people when you meet along the way you want to stay in touch with, and you've
Sure.
done, above and beyond tremendously, have helped me out, and I appreciate that. So for everybody who listens to your show, I'm blessed to know you.
Oh, thank you, dude. I appreciate that.
So
Yeah.
it's just being in the industry for so long,
Mm-hmm.
you get so sick and tired of being sick and tired, and you get so sick and tired of the people that they just want
They just
something from
want
you,
something.
and
Yeah.
it's crazy because they either love you or they hate you. They
Yeah.
love you and they still want stuff, or they hate you and they still want
Want
stuff.
stuff.
And
Right.
it's I mean, look, it's crazy. I was chatting with the guy in the DJ in the other room, and
Uh-huh.
so I said, like, depends on where you go on the internet. Half the people love me, half the people talking smack about me.
Mm,
But that's how you know I'm doing something right.
exactly.
If I wasn't doing something right,
No
then
one would have
nobody
anything to
would have
say.
anything to say.
Yeah.
So, I work hard. I love hard. I try to,
Mm-hmm.
give back as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I do
Mm-hmm.
a tremendous amount of charity work. I mean, I've brought people to the dance.
Mm-hmm.
I was almost in tears yesterday. I did a small little Instagram interview, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
sweet girl,
Yeah.
and there were people that were coming on and saying, Brim changed my life, and blah blah blah, and he helped get me back to where I needed to be, and but
Mm-hmm.
just like sweet things being said.
Yeah.
Tina Cannon from what do you call it, from Netflix? What do you
Okay.
call it? Tina, she's one of the big chefs.
Uh-huh.
She's a cook, and what do you call it? She is a dear friend,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, Brim has always answered any questions I've ever had about the business and so
Mm-hmm.
forth, and never gets tired of it. Like hearing things from people like that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and you go,
You're doing
I
something
must be
right.
doing
You
something right,
are.
and it makes it feel like I've done something good, and that it's
Mm-hmm.
all worth it. Because when you turn on the internet and you get all the garbage that's on there, I don't pay attention to it
Mm-hmm.
because it's just all they're gonna do is yap yap yap.
Right.
You can't pay any attention to it,
Yeah.
but it's crazy how nowadays how the internet can make or break people.
Definitely.
So, it's like it's a double-edged sword,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but it's crazy. Hey, the internet, as far as the internet's concerned, I'm either the best thing since sliced bread, or I've never done a thing in my life.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's crazy how, one
uh,
thing could be taken and like amplified
yeah,
like within a millisecond,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah. So you were just recently on Billions
yeah, yeah.
with Killer Mike.
Yep, with Killer Mike.
Yeah.
3 freaking Grammys this
Grammys.
week. Three.
Crazy.
Three of
I
them.
know.
I am so proud. What
Yeah.
do you call it? I just posted on my Insta for a picture of him and I and Shay, his wife,
Uh-huh.
from Billions, when we were in the green room hanging out. We spent the entire, when I say the entire day, we
Yeah.
spent the entire day hanging out.
Oh,
And
that's dope.
what do you call it? What great people, real sweet, and we've stayed in touch. And like the fact that that he won 3 Grammys
Mm-hmm.
in a night, and he manifested that.
Mm-hmm.
He worked hard for it. He
Sure.
worked hard for it. He
And
was
when it's
even
your time, your time. That's it.
he was
Yeah.
talking about it, like wanting to win a Grammy and do big things while we were there. He was just
Yeah.
sitting, we were talking about things, and it's just it was beautiful to see that, and it was crazy because I was on air. I was doing
Mm-hmm.
the Grindhouse, and what do you call? I got a message like, your boy just won 3 Grammys.
Yeah.
I was like,
That's
what
so
the hell?
encouraging. Yeah.
So, and Run the Jewels is absolutely fantastic, even though
Mm-hmm.
this was his solo album that I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he
Yeah.
won for. So, anyway, yeah. So Shay had written back to me, and I appreciate it because I know they're getting a lot of attention
I'm
right
sure. Yeah.
now. But yeah, no, that was.
That's incredible.
I can't believe what happened afterwards.
That was crazy.
but,
Yeah.
but it is what it is, and I'm sure that he'll be exonerated from it.
Yeah, yeah,
He's a
yeah.
nice guy.
It just sucks to see like something negative take away from somebody's moment. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. But the media, the media is going to either overblow it or
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. My point about social media, like
Yeah.
it just gets amplified to the
Yeah.
umpteenth degree,
Yeah.
right? And we don't know anything yet, right? We don't have
No.
any fact. We don't know anything. It's just
Nothing.
going out there, and people are creating narratives, and everybody's just running with whatever.
They're running with the devil. It
Yeah.
is what it is. But again, I'm sure he'll be I'm
Yeah.
sure he'll be exonerated for it because he just won 3 Grammys. He's in the
Mhm.
back. He's trying to get from point A to point B.
Mhm.
I haven't asked them about it. I don't want to ask about it.
Sure.
But if he was just on stage accepting, there
Yeah.
should be no reason that he can't get from point A to point B.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without issues. So if there was a security guard who got a little overzealous,
Right.
now I don't know what happened,
Right.
but if they put their hands on him, I don't know who it was. You know what I'm saying? I'm just
Yeah.
don't put your hands. Never put your hands.
Yeah.
But I can't. I don't
We
know.
don't.
I
We need.
wasn't there.
We weren't here. There.
Wasn't
Right.
there.
We need more facts.
3 Grammys.
Well, we know if he won 3 Grammys, so
Three
we're
freaking
happy
Grammys.
for that. Yeah.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
so that was fun. But Billions was awesome. I did a co-star cameo on that, and it was a great set to be on.
Uh-huh.
And I really enjoyed my time there. It's upsetting that this is its last season,
Mm.
but from what I hear, they're going to be moving into a bunch of spin-offs.
Okay.
So you never know. We'll see
You
what
never
happens.
know. You
Yeah,
never
we'll
know.
see what happens.
And you got the backpack.
Oh yeah, this is one of my backpacks.
That is awesome.
The Red series. What do you
Yeah.
call it? So
How many backpacks have you done?
So I did 3 different styles years ago,
Uh-huh.
which were the comic book styles. And
Right.
those did, like I said, they did very well. Even people that didn't know me or didn't know the comic,
Yeah.
I saw them walking around with I was in San Diego signing at San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting at my table and there's this guy that walks right past me and he's
Uh-huh.
wearing one of my backpacks. I ran over. I was like, hold on, please. I ran
Yeah.
over. I was like, hey, where'd you get the backpack? And he
Yeah.
was like, oh, I got it at Walmart, blah, blah, blah. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. I'm like, bro, that's
incredible.
that's my backpack. He goes,
Yeah.
do you know these are on Big Bang Theory? I said, yes, I know they're on Big Bang Theory. But what do you call it? So he had seen it on Big Bang Theory and he got it from Big Bang Theory. They were great.
Yeah.
What do you call it? They did a lot for me. I had fans of mine on there that were on the show.
Uh-huh.
What do you call it? And they wanted some Brimstone memorabilia. So they said, can you send me a couple of things? I said, sure. Why not? That's Big Bang Theory. Why not? I figured
Right.
it's just going to be somewhere. No. They took it and they put it right on Koothrappali's door. It was in like every shot.
Wow.
And I had sent them, I didn't just send them the backpacks, which is what they had asked. I sent them a box full of products.
Right.
So they had my coffee in here. They had my
Mhm.
sauces and seasonings in the what do you call it? The apartments. Like they
Talk
had
about
everything.
product placement.
It was great. And then this little guy, that's why I brought him.
Yeah.
That
He's
one,
cool.
the company that did these, the Little Brims, they made just myself and Stan.
Mm.
So it was Stanley and Brimstone, and that was it. 3 Coconut Monkey did those. And you see those on Big Bang. So anytime you're in the comic book shop,
Uh-huh.
season 7 moving forward, you'll see him popping up, a couple of them on
Uh-huh.
the shelves and so forth. So it's really cool to be represented there.
So cool. Yeah.
I can't be mad at it.
You're doing well.
Can't be mad at it.
Yeah.
So,
And you're doing all these different things. I mean, did you think it was going to get this big?
I would hope it would be, but
Yeah.
I didn't. Listen, I'm a regular guy. I try to be genuine. I try to be
Mhm.
real. I put my best foot forward.
Mhm.
And if something's going to happen, it's going to happen. Do I get upset when things don't happen? Of course.
Yeah.
Do I get excited when things do happen? Of course. Do I get excited when people say things are going to happen? No, because in the business for this long,
You know.
never.
Until it's in writing somewhere.
It doesn't matter if it's in
Right,
writing.
it still could go away.
It could still go away. I filmed a movie or two that, was everything was funded, it was finished, it was in the can, it was
Yeah.
edited, and then all of a sudden they didn't put it out.
Oh.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
You can't emotionally attach yourself to anything.
No, and I try not to.
Me
but
too, but it's hard.
I put my heart and soul into it. When I do
Yeah.
like voice work and stuff I am very much involved in the characters.
Right.
I've got the new cartoon that's coming out called
Mhm.
Brush Brigade. So that's myself, Jason Faunt, Catherine Sutherland. Those two are from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Oh, cool.
Friends of mine for
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
And
That's like an interesting world to me.
It
Like,
is.
we do the whole radio thing.
yes,
But like one day, and I'm putting it out there, I would love to be like an animated character.
it's so much fun.
I think
Oh,
it would
so much
be so
fun.
much fun.
I love it. It is
Yeah.
one of my favorite things to do. Listen, I love everything. When somebody's, what's your favorite thing to do out of all the things you do? I love everything.
Yeah.
But I do really enjoy the voice
For
work.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
I almost got to be a mermaid mom one time. Couldn't you
Oh,
see me being
I
like a
could see
mermaid?
that. I could definitely see that. Why
Right.
not?
And she like really kind of looked like me and everything, and then it didn't happen. But I was like, one day I will get my shot.
You will.
Yeah.
You just have to keep pushing for it.
Yeah.
The Brush Brigade thing is the reason why I'm so in love with this project
Mm-hmm.
is because not only is it a kid show, and I love being able to be multifaceted. I don't like being, oh, it's brimstone, dark,
Yeah.
skulls,
Yeah.
oh, can't do it to kids. I am playing the most kid-friendly,
Mm-hmm.
cute character
Yeah.
that you'd ever see.
Yeah.
It's called. His name's Beazle, and
Okay.
he's a little toothpaste. He's a little. He's a
That's
little
cute.
toothpaste, and
Can you do a little voice?
yeah,
Can you?
so he's
Yeah.
very high pitched and so I'm high
Yeah.
pitched on it, and I've been going for the last couple of days, so my throat's a
It's
little
all
off,
good.
as you know.
I
But
can't do any of that.
but he's such a high pitched character, and I know he's going to be the fan favorite.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that everything goes way it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
And it seems as though it is.
Uh-huh.
So I know that the show is supposed to be coming out shortly.
Mm-hmm.
The pilot's ready.
Okay.
Next couple of weeks, it's
Uh-huh.
popping. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. We've got that going on. I'm going to be doing a guest spot on the show called Dark Echoes, a paranormal show, which is
Okay.
I'm really excited about.
Scary.
You know what? If I can't handle it, we got a problem. The only thing with it is that, like here in the real world,
Mm-hmm.
most people are not stupid enough to get in my face.
Mm.
And if they do,
Mhm.
I'm more than capable of handling it.
Yeah. But aren't these like ghosts?
But you
in
can't
spirits?
see something.
I was gonna
What are you going to
say.
do? So I'm excited for it. So
Yeah.
I'm doing that. I can't say the location.
Mhm.
We haven't filmed yet.
Mm.
But I believe it's airing next year. I'm filming next month,
Mm.
and it's for Dark Echoes. It's on Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
So I'm very excited about that.
Mhm.
There are other projects in the mix. I do have Seymour the Unfortunate Vampire,
Mm.
which I play a main character in that. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm the main big bad. So that's a big positive. And that's going to be on Amazon as well this year. So it's
Wow.
coming out with the next couple of months, I
How do
believe.
you manage all these like characters? And I mean, that just seems like a whole lot.
I've always had many different voices in my head. So
Mm. Oh, yeah.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Like, okay.
I'm just kidding. Sometimes it's difficult.
Yeah.
I respect the cats that have been around for a long time. A lot of friends of mine who are in that
Mhm.
part of the industry, the
Mhm.
voice industry, where they can go from one character to the next so fluidly,
Wow.
and without missing a beat.
Yeah.
Guys like Jess Harnell, what do you call it, from the Animaniacs and so many
Sure.
other things. Charles Martinet.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I mean the list goes on.
Mhm.
Sean Schemmel,
Mhm.
Goku from Dragon Ball Z. So these are just amazing talents that
Yeah.
you go, how the hell are you doing that? I'm good, but I'm
Yeah.
like, these guys are really good,
Good. Yeah.
But they've all
But it must be great around to like be around to
Yes.
learn and
Yes.
Yeah.
when I did I was called by my friend Erica Schroeder. Erica is from Pokemon
Mhm.
and a ton of other shows.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
she plays Luffy in that new what is it called? It's huge now. It's not even new anymore.
Yeah.
One Piece. It's called.
Okay.
So it's a huge anime, and she is she's awesome. And she calls me up. She goes, Brim, I wanted to have you come down and do something for this like fantasy podcast that we're
Mhm,
doing.
mhm.
And I said, sure, let's do it. I'm in. So she brought me in, and I was in the studio with a bunch of people I didn't know personally,
Yeah.
but I knew them professionally
Mhm.
in terms of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and this big
Mhm,
name,
mhm.
this big name, Transformers, whatever. So I'm in with all these cats, and I'm going, well, it's time to go to school. You know what I mean? And I paid attention, and I become a student of the game, just like everything else I've gotten into. If
Yeah.
I'm going to do it, I want to know what the hell I'm doing.
Mhm.
So I am become a student of the game. And when I was
Mhm.
in there, I picked up the way people were, using their body language because when you're on the microphone, even here now,
Yeah.
I'm sitting, I talk with my hands.
Yeah.
Because people need to feel that emotion at home.
And the emphasis of
So
it all. Yeah.
if I'm not big,
Right.
with my voice and my emotions, you're not going to feel it at home. You're not going
Yes.
to feel it when you're listening to a track, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, like a cartoon or whatever. So, you know, I said, you know, let me pay attention and just body language and movements and so
Mhm.
and man, I left that studio that day
Yeah.
10 times more, you know, in the know,
Sure.
you know, than I did walking in.
Mhm.
And it came out great. It was great.
That's awesome.
So, you know, I wish I could remember the name of it on top of my head.
It's okay.
it was it was
It was
good. It was good.
great.
But you know, I enjoyed the experience. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
enjoyed the experience. Like I said, I really love the voice acting stuff because
Yeah.
you can just go and do so much with that.
Mhm.
You know, I could be in the studio if I don't have anything going on that day. I'll be in
Mhm.
front of the mic and I'll just sit and I'll start laying down different ideas for characters and
Yeah.
just to try to come up with
Mhm.
things. But the one problem that I do have, it's not a problem. I don't mind because I like
Mhm.
getting booked. But, you know, since I am a big guy and I do have a, you know, a voice that can get gravelly and so forth, they
Mhm.
want me to play that big, scary, gravelly guy a
Mhm.
lot.
Mhm.
Again, which is why I love the Beazle character.
Yeah.
So anyway,
It's a good alternative.
but it's great. I
Yeah.
love it. I do
Yeah.
love it. It's fun. I
Yeah.
really do love it.
So, where can everybody find you? I know you have your radio, Brimstone Radio. Is that
It's
right? No, sorry,
the
Grindhouse
Grindhouse
House
Radio,
Radio.
yeah.
Sorry,
So
Brimstone's so marketed in my brain.
so the Grindhouse Radio, what do you call it? You can get it the grindhouseradio.com.
Mhm.
We're on iHeart, we're on
Mhm.
Spotify, we're on all the stuff. I shouldn't say anything else. We're on over 30 other networks.
It's all good.
But you can catch us at our official website and you know, and anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. I also do the show called The Dirty Little Secrets Club,
Okay.
and that's a lot of fun.
Uh huh.
What do you call it? I do that with Dana Pereira out in San Diego.
Mhm.
So we're, you know, bi-coastal and we have so much fun.
Mhm.
So that again, you can find at dirtylittlesecretsclub.com or your favorite, you know, your favorite podcasting platform. Or you can go to my website, therealbrimstone.com,
Mhm.
and everything is on there. If you're interested in my wrestling career, if you're interested in my music career, if you're
Mhm.
interested in voice work, this, that, everything is
It's
on
all
there.
there.
It's on there.
Yeah.
You know, if you read something, you go, oh, that doesn't sound right. You can go to my website and clarify it. You
Got
know what
it.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, I like to make sure that you know everything is there, so there can be no questions.
Sure. Sure.
You
Sure.
know, and that it's a lot of fun. It
That's
really
awesome.
is.
We speak to a lot of creators
Hmm.
on this platform, and I would say if you could leave us with some advice, like if there's a creator who is looking to build their brand and is looking to make those kind of expansions, what advice would you give to them?
One, never give up, never
Mm.
surrender, never take no for an answer.
Mhm.
You know, you got to believe in yourself because if you don't believe in yourself, ain't nobody else is going to
That's
believe
right.
in you.
Mhm.
You know, never get too big for your britches, but know where you're going and how you're going to get there.
Right.
Having a plan is great, but sometimes flying by the seat of your pants is fun too.
That is.
I absolutely believe that if you're going to get into and involved in a business, you should become a student of the game. I've said it a couple times so far.
Yeah.
Always become a student of that game because otherwise, you have no business being there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're getting into something later in life or later
Mhm.
on, and you've got people that have been there well before you. You need to pay respect and homage to the people that came before you.
Mhm.
So, and one of the big things, respect. Have respect, not just for the business you're going into, the people that you're going to be dealing with, but the people that came before you and
Mhm.
yourself.
Mhm.
So,
That's great advice. Well, listen, thank you for coming and being here
thank
today.
you. I
Yeah,
appreciate you having
I'm
me.
glad this finally happened. I know we talked about it for a while, but
Yeah,
we made
no,
it happen.
this is fantastic, and what do you call it? I really appreciate you having me down and everything you've done for me. Again, you've been
Oh.
fantastic. And anybody who wants to interact and engage with me, I am very interactive on Instagram at the
Mhm.
Real Brimstone. Please feel free to follow me, and you know, if you write to me, that is me writing you
Writing
back.
back.
If
Yeah.
I don't get back to you right away, it's only because I'm crazy and
Mhm.
it's soon or I haven't seen it. Once I see it, I
Right.
do get back to every single person that comments, and And that's a way that you can give back to me
Yeah.
that, that doesn't cost you a cent.
Right.
If you follow social media, you
Mhm.
comment on my posts, you
Mhm.
like my posts,
Right.
and you engage with me, that means everything to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at
Yeah.
least I know I'm doing something right.
Absolutely. And it's all about just helping to build one another up too. Like I know it's very competitive out here and like we're all
Mm,
trying to like compete
right.
but I mean, I always believe, and I heard this quote from Earl Nightingale one time, there's no such thing as competition if you've learned how to really create.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
and also someone else's successes, does that mean that those are your failures?
Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
A
yeah.
lot of people think that, oh, they're watching don't watch what your neighbor's doing.
Mhm.
Concentrate on your own yard.
Stay in your lane.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Concentrate on your own yard. You will never have a bad day in your life. Well, that's a lie. But you will never feel that pit in your stomach when
Mhm.
somebody else is doing something. You're like, well, I should be doing that. Well, then go
Yeah.
and do it.
Do it.
Don't be
And do it
lazy.
your way and with your own version of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
laziness is, I mean, it's a symptom, man. Like,
Oh my God, it is.
don't be lazy. Get
Yeah.
up and do it.
Mhm.
That's it.
Mhm.
Too many people are so stuck in their own heads that they don't get out there and live.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I'm just thrilled to be able to do everything I get to do.
Yeah.
I meet the most amazing people. I have the most amazing friends all across the spectrum of entertainment. And I get to put out some cool stuff, go cool places,
Yeah.
and I get to live my life and love what I do.
Mhm. And I'm learning a lot from you too. Like I got to get some merch.
Definitely.
Something.
You do.
A book bag, a coat, something.
You make it happen. I mean,
Something.
I work with Affliction. I work with clothing. I work with Leviath clothing. They have a Brimstone shirt. I
Uh-huh.
actually this is one of the Brimstone shirts I brought for you. I hope you're a
Oh,
medium.
awesome.
So
Thank you.
that's one
I
of the
love
new
the
Brimstone
gifts.
shirts.
Cool.
And I got you the book
I
and
love
that.
that. Could you
So
sign my book for me?
I
Yeah.
can. And what do you call it? If anybody wants to get any merch, it's all on the website. And
Awesome.
I do appreciate you again
Oh
having
my
me.
God, I
This
appreciate you too. Like
very, very fun
it's
time.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope you'll come back and keep us updated on what you have
Absolutely.
going. You're in the iHeart family.
I am.
So.
I would like to be further in it. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
And next time we'll talk about the foodie stuff.
Okay, good.
We'll talk about the food, and then maybe it'll be closer to when I'm doing some judging again. So
Good.
we
You know
can-
what would be cool? And I'm just speaking out loud in existence. You know we do a big barbecue
Oh yeah,
out in Coney Island.
I didn't know that.
Oh my God. So Power 105 does one every single year with
Okay.
Angie Martinez. It's her big, huge summer barbecue.
Oh,
We did a cook off last year. We did something with Bobby Brown Foods.
okay.
And it was like an awesome activation. But like I'm always looking like, how can we take this food game
Yeah.
to the next level?
Well, my son and I would he was competing, and I did cameos on the show Barbecue Country on the
Uh-huh.
Country Network. So, got my son involved too.
Yeah.
And,
Food is food is
yeah,
important.
he cooks.
Yeah.
He's good.
My husband cooks very well.
Mm.
I am domesticated
Aw.
to a degree.
Oh, stop.
But listen, I can make a mean reservation. So there's that.
There
But,
you go.
Yeah, but I appreciate you being here
I
today.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yes. And until next time.
Bye.
Bye.